concept of dreamwalkers. There have been times in human history where tribes were having challenging moments, uh, whether there was not enough food or shelter or water, and they would send out people referred to as dreamwalkers. Uh, Dreamwalkers are kind of seen as people who walk in two different worlds at the same time. And these dreamwalkers in our world today could be seen as the youth of the world. They're recognizing the what earlier generations have not realized: climate change, global warming, political challenges, technological challenges. They're seeing them in great with great clarity, and it's causing stress. They're dreamwalkers without a map. They're striving to find a new way for humanity, and they're not having the requisite support often from older generations that would benefit them, and they have recognizable and actually valid, to a degree, distrust of those older folks who like ourselves, who might counsel them, because they say, look what's happened in the world. How can I trust your guidance? How can I trust you to support me in my dream walk? How you don't seem to get where I'm at. You don't understand my stress, my anxiety, my worry, my concerns about the future, my feelings of disempowerment, my internal conflict, my social process on social media. Older adults often don't get all of that. And so our youth are processing reality differently than the older generations. And they may see themselves on a train, so to speak, in a train on a track headed for a brick wall in terms of climate change. Paradoxically, if the older adults are on the train sitting in the car, the train could be going 100 miles an hour, and it looks, unless you look out the window, it looks like everything's standing still, like nothing's really happening. So these are different vantage points of interpretation that we wanted to bring to the fore, so that these different vantage points can be understood by the different age groups that would be participative in these calls and discussions and collaborations in future. So whether you're in a car with the shades, a train car with the shades down, and you can't see outside and don't see what is going on in the bigger world, or whether you've got the shades up and you're looking out and it's all just a blur, or whether you have some understanding of right now the train of humanity is going in a direction that's not optimal, and we need to change tracks, or we need to bring ourselves collectively into a more conscious state. And so opening up these conversations between the generations, we feel is necessary, helping each other attain understanding and trust and faith in each other, even in the midst of this seemingly tumultuous, stressful time that the world is going through. The same is true, by the way, of every race, gender, religion, and country. They're each in their own train car, seeing the world from their own vantage point, interpreting it differently. And each country may be saying, well, we each see ourselves going towards the brick wall in a different way, and we don't feel that anybody else in any of the other train cars gets where we're at or what our concerns are. And so we're really upset. And there's lots of conjecture in the present moment, and that's why we're building the WSS and the social movement engine, so there will be an environment for this discussion to evolve, so that we can resolve the discontinuities, the prejudice, the bias, the misunderstandings, the fears, the worries, the anxieties, the projections and the reactions and the wounding. So we've used this metaphor before of the first space missions which were deemed the first, I believe it was the first two of the three, were a failure because all they wanted the astronaut to do was to climb outside the capsule on their tether, move to the back of the capsule, do a mechanical adjustment, and then climb back in. And in both of the first trials, the astronauts, in air quotes, failed. They panicked. They went into a fast respiration that fogged over the glass of their visors. They couldn't see where they were going. They couldn't complete the mission. And so they just climbed back in and came back down. So prior to the third mission, they suggested, one of the astronauts that was a scuba diver suggested, well, why don't we put a mock-up of the capsule underwater and let these folks actually practice in a weightless environment and conditions similar to space, climbing out of the capsule, move to the back of the capsule, adjust a nut or a bolt here or there, then climb back in. And then on the third try, they succeeded. So this is a metaphor. When human beings have a concern over not being able to have an ability to orient themselves in the world, to get that I know what's going on, I know what's happening, I understand when, where, how, and why it's happening, and I feel I have power and influence over what's happening, or at least in terms of regulating or managing myself within the context of the world. If we don't feel we've got something to hold on to, so to speak, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, energetically, physically, then we can go into a stressed process. So it is our intention, and it's our process in the WSS, to create a safe space for everyone to be participative, feel held, feel loved, feel cared about, and to work through any and all of these prior tribal dynamics, ego dynamics, karmic dynamics, fear dynamics, stress or anxiety in a caring, loving community that gets them, that accepts them as they are, that values and validates everyone as they are, without expectation, without potential for judgment, without potential for attack or abandonment, that they'll simply be loved for who they are, valued for who they are, recognized for who they are, and truly appreciated on a constant basis. And that envelope of supportive, that cocoon, if you will, for the caterpillar to turn into the butterfly is necessary. If we didn't produce that, how would people comprehensively transform and evolve and feel that they could do so safely and participatively, collaboratively, benefit from the process, and serve others and help others benefit from their process? So this is our intention. This is our process. This is our goal. And we wanted to simply help the various generations that are participative on this call to recognize the when, where, how, and why that others don't or haven't previously gotten them, or they've not felt supported by them or understood by them or recognized by them or valued for being who you are. And that it's okay to be loved. It's okay to be cared about. It's okay to trust. It's okay that there is a place, there is a space, there is an environment here where you will be honored. And we will hold to that with discipline, with care, with intentionality, with unconditional love, and honor your process. That dynamic of each of our evolutionary and learning processes being honored by the environment, by the collective, by society, by the world, by our organizations, by our social sets. That's not been the norm of late. And we get that. And we're hoping to offer an antidote, a healing, soothing balm to that process so that you can feel gotten, understood, valued, and appreciated, and empowered and capable and effective and efficient, and feel like you've got your hands on the steering wheel of your life and that you've got some capacity to influence the world for the better in order to generate a world that you're going to want to live in the future and that other generations will want to live in the future too.